All right, I'm going to go ahead and answer this question. I think it's very comical, and I really truly think it's very laughable. Um, but I'm going to go ahead and make at least an attempt. People hear my words here on YouTube. And of course, some people it brings pause and concern because I speak about a lot of issues. And the question of the hour is this: is Pastor Dowell, are you a racist? Whoa! How do you answer that? Well, I think first of all, in order to define someone as a racist, at least in my book, and mind you, this I guess this all has to do with my personal opinion because everybody has different definitions for racism. But I think the best way you can do, or the best way to determine if someone is a racist, at least in your book, is let me try this. Let me go this route. All right, I thought about it for a second. Look at a person and look at the company they keep. That will pretty much define for you if someone is a racist or not. Now, that isn't always true. Now, as far as myself goes, since it's about me, I guess you can look at my lifestyle. You can go back in these videos, and you can be the ones to determine that or not. Am I a racist? I don't believe I am. No way, shape, fashion, form, and neither do the people who know me and who are close to me, or I guess the world calls their inner circle. None of them believe in any way, shape, fashion, form. As a matter of fact, if I was to take a camera and I go to all the people who have different ethnic backgrounds in the ministry we're here, in the ministry here, and if I was to ask them that question of them, you probably get some looks like this. Or they'll be like, what? I think what's really truly going on is this. The question of the hour is what is your conscience? Listen to me very close. I'm going to try to use this as an educational tool. What is your conscience? Whatever your conscience leads you to believe, and please listen to me very closely. That doesn't mean that your conscience is right. I'm just stating whatever your conscience leads you to believe. First of all, I think that racism is very stupid, idiotic, foolish. I can go on with many other superlatives, but I'm going to keep it clean for the sake of the children. They may be watching this video and want to actually learn something from this. I think that everything has been redefined in the day that we live in. For instance, if you grew up in an environment to where your conscience was molded and shaped after the morals, the values, the traditions, the religious beliefs, the theologies, the ideologies, whatever is said behind closed doors in the family home, then that is what's going to shape your conviction. Your conviction was shaped on agreement. You heard something. And mind you, when you came out of your mother's womb, this world was already in place. It was in place. I did not get to pick and choose the father nor the mother that I came out from. Neither did you. Anytime something is presented to you in life, no matter what it be, no matter what it may be, you have choices and decisions to make. And a lot of times we have had our value system and our moral system shaped after the environment that we have been influenced by, be it home life, public school, or whatever neighborhood or environment or the company you hang around. And that has a great influence. I have literally been discriminated against pretty much all my life. Yet and still, what I have chosen to do is judge every man and every woman based on their own merits, attitude, and the way that they function in life. And usually racist people do not do good around me at all because it doesn't take me, and it will not take me too long to figure them out. And what I do is I remove people from my life who does not believe in the same peace, tranquility, knowledge, understanding, and equality that I do. And it won't take long because, these people, if they have something secret underlining in them, it won't be too long. They're going to manifest themselves, be it a soft form of attack, meaning, they'll go tell somebody else. And then, evil communication, since it does corrupt good manners, it won't be too long before you'll start seeing their countenance change towards you. And then you'll start discerning the disdain that they have towards you simply because of things that come out of the mouth that have literally come from the heart. Because out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaketh. And you can tell when someone has been speaking evil about you because everything about them changes. When they are in your presence, a wall comes up. They come non-responsive. If you say something and everybody else is kind of like in a casual conversation, they're agreeing with it. They're kind of reserved and everything. That's all. I can go on many, many different ways. But agreements. Whatever you have chosen to agree with in life, it pretty much becomes your truth. And that's what people need to understand in the hour that we're living in. Whenever you make an agreement with something, be it true or false, it shapes you as a person. It shapes your value system. It shapes who you are. And no doubt, when you look at a person's lifestyle, people can say all they want. They can speak and talk all they want. But when you look at the function of someone's life and see what they do as opposed to what's being said, it tells the tale. It tells all the story that there is. Now, that doesn't mean that is the be all and the end all. But no, I am, at least by my own definition, I'm not a racist. I think the trouble comes in is that I speak truth. And that's why I ask you to check behind what I'm saying. Your feelings may totally disagree with what I'm saying because you have already been programmed. Are you listening to me? And if I say something is like an auto response mechanism. Whatever you have agreed with in the past, it's going to trigger. And then if I say something, boy, you disagree with, it's over. It's over. I become your enemy. I become opinionated. I become obnoxious. I become arrogant to you. And who do you think I've been? Everybody, notice, everybody does not believe that way. Everybody doesn't see things the way that you see it. And neither do they see things the way that I see it. That's the reason why we have this outlet right here. This outlet is only to get those of like conscious, like mind. And those who are very educated and informed, they get it. They get what I'm saying and they understand exactly what I'm doing. That's like, our little bit of community here. You'll be appalled at this small community, how many people have actually lived out there in the world and function. And all of them, after your standards of intelligence, are educated. They have degrees. We have people here who used to own businesses, and I can go on and on with the many different backgrounds and diversities of backgrounds that we have here. But the best way to determine if someone is a racist or not is based on the company that they keep. And that's the best way you can determine it. People can say anything, and they may even have a feelings and emotions. So I'm not with hating anyone of any ethnic background. I don't function like that because I'm sure you understand when you read the title down there, it says Pastor Dowell. I am sure that you understand, or at least you can comprehend, that's letting you know that I'm an Israelite. And I actually preach the truth of Yah's word. And no, I don't believe in racism or discrimination. And let me educate you here for a second. Before, if I am accused of being a racist, before I can actually be a racist, I have to be in a position of power and a position of influence from the very beginning in order to not only radiate this spirit of racism, but then I have to be able to influence the paradigm, or I have to influence history. I have to actually make a history and show you what racism is all about. And that's not me. That's not me, nor is it my people. But I'm not with all this racist junk or whatever it's going on. Now, what happens is that people misalign my words. They think a lot of things that I say is very inappropriate and out of bounds. And that's because of the agreements or whatever environment that they have been raised in. And so when they hear me speak, a lot of times people are not really truly exercising the art of hearing to actually hear what I'm really truly saying, but they are responding based on an agreement. They're responding based on an emotion that has already been programmed in them, and that is what they defend. Most people refuse to look at the facts of anything and then make an informative decision because, in this society, we're closed-minded, very closed-minded, and it is a very strenuous task, and it is a very strenuous job to actually open up your mind and allow information to come in and then make a rational choice and a decision based on the facts at hand. And I think because I speak truth, and there's a universal truth to this. If you tell the truth, you're going to have a lot of enemies. That's all there is to it. Because, again, people have been shaped by the agreements that they have made, be they true or false, from the past. And whenever their agreements do not agree with the truth, because they believe that they are the sum of all wisdom, they believe that they are the epitome of righteousness, and that their word, their choices in life actually has value and it means something more than the truth, then the truth has to go. And that's what most people do. They just throw out the truth. I'm not that ignorant. Nowhere near it. I try to make sure that in things that I do in life, that I make sure I use wisdom. Now, wisdom basically is, once you comprehend something, is the ability to be able to apply knowledge to it. And then in function, that would make you wise. And since I was birthed in this cosmos, and this earth was already in motion, and it was already shaped. And there are many different cultures, many different diversities of backgrounds, many different attitudes, many different theology, ideologies, and beliefs. I thought that after having my mind shaped 20-something years by my environment and shaped after the public food system and shaped after everything that they wanted you to believe, I thought that it was time for me to exercise some self-autonomy. Now, I have never been one to succumb to peer pressure. Never, ever in my life. I have self-assurance. I have self-confidence. And it wasn't until I was in my mid-20s that I began to come to a knowledge of self. Now, knowledge of self is based on knowing your history and knowing who you are. And I think what happens is that a lot of people, when they listen to me, they're not used to a black man speaking with such self-assurance and such confidence. Because I stand on the truth. I really, truly do. I stand on it. I don't care what that truth is. If it is the truth, Pastor Dowell will be a supporter of it, and I will be a defender of it. Now, you have to understand this. If you don't believe that the Bible, the scriptures, is the truth, then there's no way we're going to be able to walk together. There's no way we're going to be able to agree. We may find other areas in life that we may be able to agree on, points. But my understanding, after living 25 years without the Most High, and then actually putting it to the test in the lifestyle, proving these scriptures, because that's what the book does say, prove me. And I do understand that, and I comprehend very well that in this life, if you're going to set yourself apart and do what that book says, you get yourself ready for temptation. Get yourself ready for a lot of pain and a lot of suffering. I'm telling you that right now. The day you fall out of agreement with this world and you fall in agreement with this book right here, you prepare yourself for temptation. You prepare yourself for a whole lot of heartache and a whole lot of pain. But I will say this, it is worth it all. Because see, as long as you are marching in time with the world, they're in perfect agreement with you. You will have solitude and solidarity with the world. Yes, you will. No, yes, you will. But as soon as you step outside of the cosmos or the paradigm that the world is shaped by, called a justice system, which is very much strategy and opinion, and you started comprehending what that book says right there, and you start implementing it in your life, all those that are in the world will begin, because you're different. You're like a sore thumb out of joint. You're like a pink elephant in a neighborhood of purple. People will begin to point fingers at you and believe that their opinion is truth. And they do that to enlist more people in their favor. And when you point fingers at other people, people who do not have the ability to comprehend and see what the accuser is doing, because that's the way we've been shaped and molded in this world, in this paradigm, they will either agree with what you're saying because there are some agreements that they have agreed with in the past, whether you're on this side of the world or that side of the world. It makes no difference. It's totally irrelevant. But if they agree with what you're saying without any investigation, without any discernment whatsoever at all, they will make agreement with them people, and the person who is pointing the finger will actually remove the eyes off of them, and all attention will be pointed towards the person that is being accused. And that's just the way that this cosmos works. And of course, you have the area of guilty by association. All right, guilt by association. People in this life, in the years past, you have probably made bad choices and decisions which you did not know at first, based on people's moral character or belief, whatever you pick and choose, and morality is being under question every single day. It's being redefined in this country every single day. But it's okay for you to put away bad seeds and bad people from your life. But if someone is out there and they actually are putting forth the finger, or they're standing for truth and they're forsaken a particular way, all of a sudden the first thing that people do is they go and investigate their past, the people's past. And they want to base a decision off of the people's past. But you don't want anybody ever to hold you guilty by the previous associations that you had. But it's remarkable, as hypocritical as we are, that's what we do. And we try to say that there's something morally wrong with these people because of previous agreements that we've made with people or associations that we had. And that's we just live in a hypocritical world. And I hope with all that is in me that I am literally making a lot of sense. I don't expect to reach everybody. I don't. I really truly don't. But I hope I'm literally making a lot of sense. If you want to know if I'm a racist or not, all you have to do is go to my website, www.straightwaytruth.com. It's up there. And you can look at my family. And my family will be the test of many, many years of the way I believe. Do I know who I am? Yes, I do. Do I know myself? Yes, I do. I have self-assurance and self-confidence that lets me know through the experience of decisions and choices I have made, because I've chose to follow that book, that I am on the right course. Because after all, if that book is not the right course, then we're all doomed. We're literally all doomed, and there's nothing that either one of us can do about it. But by their fruits, you shall know them. I hope that some way, somehow, this has answered the question, and I hope that this has helped people to open up their minds a little bit and not be so quick to jump on the bandwagon of others. There's not one person. I know you find this hard to believe, but there's not one person that I have done evil to in this world, that if I have done evil to them in this world, that I have not bent over backwards to try to make it right. Not one. But people choose to make me their enemy. And that's their prerogative. I support their choice. I support their decision. And I actually love it when people let me know what they feel and let me know what they think about me, because then that allows me to use intelligence in how I'm going to better deal with them, if you understand what I mean. And sometimes people do it with words, and sometimes people do it without words. But I'm discerning enough, and I've lived in this world long enough to figure out humanity, to know what people are doing and what they're all about. But it's impossible for you to actually be a brother, a friend, a colleague or associate of mine and literally be racist. It's just simply not going to fly. I don't agree with the spirit of racism in any way, shape, fashion, or form. I do have a moral system, a value system that has been shaped totally by the Bible. And of course, we know that the Bible is under attack now. Now, I'm not going to be acquiescing to any other morality or any other form of tradition, theology, and ideology. I have made the choice and the decision. And when I made this choice and when I made this decision in my life, I am going to the grave with it, because I've had an experience with the creator of the universe that I am totally convicted. And I'm not turning to the left, or nor am I turning to the right, because I have lived in the world. I have experienced religions, religions of Christianity and many different flavors of it. And after all these many years, almost a half a century of living, I've come to the conclusion some time ago that I'm going to stick with what this book says. Not only that, because it works. It literally works because I apply myself to see if it works. I am proving him. That's what he says. You prove me to see if it works or not. You prove me. You try me. That's what it says. And I do. I do it just as much as he does us. And I found it to be actual, factual, and truthful. And I love this spiritual journey. I don't know everything. I literally don't. And that's why I try my best to make sure I only speak on things that I understand, comprehend, and aware of. And I am under no illusion whatsoever at all that when I speak on any subject at the time or juncture in life that I find myself in, I am under no illusion whatsoever at all that I have the sum of all wisdom. I believe that I have comprehension and understanding for this particular time, because knowledge is always evolving. He has the right to adjust and to continue to keep building on as I mature and as I grow in my level and ability of comprehension and understanding. I hope that you have understood what I've said. And then you watch the people who come around me. You watch the people who come around me, associate with me. Most of the people who actually are affiliated with the Straightway Truth Ministries are people who are of very high moral character and conviction. These people are, they literally, what I would call, by my own judgment, people of impeccable character and morality. Are they still in the race? Are they still in the fight? Just like I am? Yes. Do we make mistakes? Sure we do. But you can tell those who heart is right is when they make adjustments and they turn whenever they made mistakes and go on to righteousness. I'm telling you now. That's the type of people that associate with the ministry. But I am, by my own admission, and I hope I'm not deceived in any way, shape, fashion, or form, because if I am deceived, I want you to listen to me very closely. If I am deceived, there is nothing that I can do about it, and there's nothing you can do about it. That's the truth. Because the book teaches that if the Lord deceives somebody, he says he is the one that has deceived them. And what are you going to do? What are you going to do? How are you going to fight against the Most High Yah if you are deceived? That's like a reprobate mind. When you start making agreements with this world, such as alternate forms of lifestyle, then your mind is turned over to a reprobate mind to believe that that is actual, factual, and truthful, and you're going to influence other people. And of course, it covers it. Blind lead the blind, both fall into the ditch. But no, I'm not a racist any way, shape, fashion, or form. And that's just the way it is. That's just, now, you are the ones that are going to determine And you are the ones going to make the choice and decisions if you want to continue on with a relationship with me. Now, understand this. When I make videos about social, political, and economic perspectives and point of views, I'm strongly opinionated, but I truly believe that my opinions are based on facts and reality and not personal opinions or biases. That is the reason why I stand flat-footed and look you straight in the eye and tell you clearly that if I'm wrong, bring it. Bring it on. Bring all your facts. Because I am no more going to listen to your personal opinion and your personal emotions than you are mine. I'm not going to do it. I'm not foolish like that. I will not put myself in that position to be swayed or turned or influenced by your feelings and emotions. I'm a man of truth, a man of facts. That's one thing about the truth. It always sets free. So, I'm free. I'm free of the judgment of all men. And I try to make sure, since I know that I can please him, and it's a very difficult thing to please men, I think I'm in very good company. And I try to make sure that I teach these principles to all the people out there. All the people that are part of the Straightway Truth Ministry, I love them all, and they know it. I love them all. I can truly say this more than I love myself. I truly do. And they know, the ones who are close to me, the ones who are with me. They understand my decision. They understand where I'm at in this life. But anyway, I think I've been a little redundant here at times because I try my best to let people to have at least a platform to make an informed decision. But know this, I'm a very passionate man, especially concerning truth, and I won't back down. And neither will I eat words of truth. I won't do it. I will not do it. I will stand. And I don't care how popular or unpopular it is. I will stand on truth. And I will preach the truth, whether you like it, understand it or not. It's totally irrelevant to me. Truth always sets free. So rather than you judging my words based on a feeling that you could be not familiar with, maybe you should listen to me, exercise a little bit of autonomy there, and then stop for a second. And a lot of times you'll find out that I'm actually more right than I am wrong. It does take humility to admit it. I had somebody the other day tell me something about myself. And it's just something that they discern. And we don't make a habit of going around telling things about, people about themselves and stuff. But in this particular venue and juncture, I heard it, I go, wow, I never even considered that. Let me think on this for a moment. I never even considered. And when I was able to step back, I looked at it and I looked at the function, truth of it. I go, that is true. That is the way that I do. That is the way I am. And you know what I said to the person? I said, thank you. So, hey, y'all have a wonderful weekend or the wicked end. Those of you who love the Most High, you will keep the commandments. Have a wonderful Shabbat. All of you, be encouraged. Every single one of you. But know this, that Pastor Dowell is very, 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 very convicted and very truthful. You may not like what I'm saying, but investigate the things that I talk about outside of your feelings and emotions. And then and only then will you know if I'm telling the truth. Because after all, you have to agree with what's being said, but you must do your own individual investigation before your agreement becomes a personal conviction. Y'all have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful weekend. The King's coming.